Not to be a bitch, but why is this new generation of teenagers, Gen Alpha, I think, why are they so rude? They lack any social skills. The way that I see them interact with workers, like just ordering a coffee, oh my god, they have zero spatial awareness. Like they will just stand in a crowded doorway, not aware of everyone that's trying to get around them. They lack social skills. They lack a little bit of personality. They don't even know how to say thank you. It's insane. Maybe I'm just jealous because I had to go through my ugly teen phase and they just don't. Like, is it because they spent so many formative years locked down during COVID? Okay, now
Well, these children are coming from somewhere. Somebody bettered them, right? So their parents did not teach them all that. And you know that gone are the days where, like in my country, yeah, some parents that have issues training their or taming their children. There are some they specifically look for schools that you know are just not about the academics. They're also about their manners. There are schools that that are good at that. Those are the schools that parents will send their children to, and there will be a change because the children after a while they'll be turned around. They'll be tamed. Gone are the days where that's obtainable. Now, parents don't even like it when you talk at a certain voice volume with their children. They'll tell you, don't talk with that child like that. I carried him for 9 months. You were not there when I was struggling with him. They're coming from somewhere. So those parents that over babying their children, they don't want their children to be all hot. Anything they want, they give them. So they're coming from somewhere. Somebody said, I hate to break it to you, but we all did this as kids. You are just getting older. Not in an African setting, no, not in my country, Nigeria. In my country, Nigeria, where other people will even parent if your parents cannot parent you. You know that I say it takes a village to train a child. The village will train your child if you don't want to train your child. And some parents can be very embarrassing when outsiders are, correcting your children while you are there. Ooh, some parents they don't like it. So they wouldn't want to be in that situation where because they've not been able to parent you, outsiders are not parenting you in their presence. They don't want that. But of course, even now in my country, they're becoming very rude. The world is changing. See, post-COVID, the world became a global village. So things that we were not having access to, we didn't have so much access to Western world beyond people that used to travel or movies or music. And back then, not a lot of people had access to it yet. But now, because post-COVID, the world is now a global village. I can stay in my room and be watching what is happening in America. Like the earthquake in Colombia, I saw it, stuff like that. So everybody is now borrowing things from each country that's watching that content. And it's now polluting our country. I won't even lie to you. And if any small thing, say, in US, they do this, they do that, and nobody says anything. Even the parents are not beginning to emulate all the rubbish. See, older Gen Alpha is 12, 13. You're observing young Gen Zs. It's because they are all iPad kids. So even the iPad is the problem. The iPad, some parents, and that's lazy parenting. Some parents don't have the strength to parent, so they will not give their children iPad to just shut them and keep them busy. That's what a lot of parents are doing now. And you tell me these are the same sort of people that are asking you, why don't you want to have children? Meanwhile, the one you have, you cannot even parent that child. Your iPad is not the one training the child. And you tell me, I don't even want to talk too much, guys. They are reincarnated boomers. This is my theory. I said they are reincarnated boomers. I for real watched her the other booba how it normally comes and get upset at the worker that it wasn't a specific flavor that she never asked for. She expected him to just read her mind. Boomer call. And she's a female. Imagine when that one start dating. She will expect her boyfriend now to be reading her mind. Any little thing she'll just be
So I just saw a video from a 4th grade teacher talking about the slang her 10-year-old students are using. The slang in question was them calling each other good boy, calling their classmates chuz, which means chopped huz. It's like a way of calling women ugly, or fine shit. And this was just like a normal thing they were doing every day. Here's the thing. These kids, these little boys, are in their prime developmental years. And language itself, whether it be the words we use or the way we use it, play a huge role in our perspective of the world and thus our identity formation. You are afforded the luxury of a word that perfectly defines an exact occurrence or emotion or thing. Like some languages literally have a word for the final goodbye you give someone before not seeing them for a very long time. But when you are given an exact word that defines something, it makes it feel that much more real and it places an emphasis on it. When modern slang, especially slang that is popularized on the internet, when modern slang is infested with a million trillion different ways of demeaning others, especially women, that makes up the bulk of the day-to-day vocabulary of these young boys in their developmental prime. When you are 10 years old, consistently referring to your female classmates as a chopped huzz, how is that going to inform your outlook on women in the future? This emerging generation of young boys is suffocated by overtly sexual material every day on the internet. Whether it be slang or videos or conversation starters. Bro, did you see Tate McRae's new music video? We must remain strong. And these little boys are only doing it because they're modeling the behavior of adult men on this app who, frankly, know better. Adult men who walk around calling real women fine shit because they think it's funny, but their audience is a bunch of 9-year-olds. And they are making pivotal and harmful alterations to their development. But
You just said it. Younger boys love to emulate the older boys. Oh, they do. They are so good at that. Just imagine if they were emulating the good ones. I was saying chopped at 10. You see? Sometimes I was saying chopped at 10. See? See, people been saying it for years, bro. Where are you from? I agree, but wasn't chores like Chinese horse? What these abbreviations, you see? What was ICL? Guys. Look, the power of people words is no longer as prominent, especially among young people. If you're outside of the internet sphere, I completely understand why you would jump to bad conclusions. The power of people's words. Don't you know there are people that are very good at soaking in what is happening around them? Especially women. We women were very sensitive. Words get to us easily. Saying the power of words no longer. This is the first time I'm hearing that. You think so? This is why when I have kids, they will not have any social media access until they are mid 6th grade to 7th grade, and that's a maybe. How old is the 6th or 7th grade? Because as far as I'm concerned, my children will not own a gadget like smartphone until they are 16, 17, thereabout. Just maybe. Because 18 is my safest. 18. By then, they would have built life outside the social media that they won't be bothered, and they'll have high confidence in themselves. Do you get that? They will be able feeling that their friends are the one missing out on nothing. There's a way you bring up your children. I've seen an example of that. Like, I was so impressed with those parents. Very confident children. They are leading in everything. So even the ones that are on social media don't have anything on them, because you that you're on social media, can you brag on somebody that's leading you that you cannot even spar with? Do you get? As a sister to 2 younger brothers, this is one thing I fear the most. I try my best to sway them away from the internet, because I know how easily influenced kids are, like how I was back then. You see, the ones that
this is so random, but I need to know if anybody else has noticed this. I have a lot of little kids in my family, and I'm around them a lot, and oftentimes I'm around them when they're watching TV. And usually when a commercial plays during something, they will call it an ad and not a commercial. Like, they'll say, oh, they already played this ad, or like, I hate this ad, it's so annoying. And I realize it's because most of what they watch is either from YouTube or on streaming, where when an ad plays, it says ad in the corner. So like, they're gonna call it ad, they're not gonna call it a commercial. But even when like they're watching live TV, like football or something, and a commercial plays, like, they'll still call it an ad. So I mentioned this to some of my family, and we kind of started talking about where the word commercial comes from. Basically because like TV hosts would say, okay, time for a commercial break, aka time to pause so a bunch of brands can sell you stuff. And it just kind of blew my mind, because I realized like commercial actually started as an adjective and was never a noun. We just kind of made it into a noun, but like it was an adjective to describe a type of ad. And now we've just like circled back to like not using the word at all and just calling an ad. Also just indicative of this larger like media consumption habit of younger generations. Like they don't watch live or like network TV as much as they watch streaming now.
Me, I'm even saying you're worried about the wrong thing. Because a time is coming where nobody will be turning on their television to watch, all those live presentations from media houses. If they're even using their telenet to stream YouTube, I'm sure by the time TikTok comes to the television, it's going to be game changer for all those people. Parents will no longer even watch the news on their television because children will be using it to watch YouTube or TikTok. That's even the area where the era we are headed to. You know how old people will call TV shows programs? This is our programs. You see? Funny, I only say commercial if I'm watching like cable TV. Otherwise, it's ads. I don't know. They feel different to me. Exactly. A step further, ad is short for advertisement. Yeah, language and etymology is wild. True, true, true. So, but guys, what do you think about this Gen Alpha, problems that people are identifying? Do you think it's going to get better or it's going to get worse? Let me know in the comment section. And what is your own observation thus far? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.